will remember this day.
Hollywood actors have a history of walking away from iconic roles, opportunities that might have defined or reshaped their careers.
I turned down, and I will go down in history as the person, because Jim Cameron called me. He offered me 10% of Avatar.
Oh, God.
You will never meet an actor who turned down more money than me.
These are some of the roles that still haunt these actors to this day. Jack Nicholson is one of the greatest actors Hollywood has ever produced, and in the 1970s, he was offered the chance to work beside one of his favorite actors, Marlon Brando. Jack was the initial choice to play Michael Corleone in The Godfather.
Godfather was going to be a good film. I'd always wanted to work with Marlon, but I was asked to play the lead in it.
But surprisingly, Nicholson turned down the offer, and later stated in a BBC interview that, "I felt it should be an Italian person, and he didn't have any scenes with Marlon in the script I read, and I thought, well, I'm liable only to get to work with Marlon once, and let's hope that it might be something where we really had to work." In the end, the role went to Al Pacino, who proved to be the perfect casting choice. The film became a global cinematic masterpiece with 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and grossing over $240 million worldwide. The Godfather is widely considered as one of the greatest films ever made. Al Pacino's portrayal of Michael Corleone is what made him the star he is today. And following that success, he was offered numerous roles, and one of them was to portray Han Solo in Star Wars. But the actor didn't feel confident taking on the role at that point in his career, and even stated he didn't even understand the script to start with. They came with Star Wars, and I tried reading it. It's nothing against Star Wars. I thought I don't know what it means, and I don't know why I'd do it. In the end, Harrison Ford stepped into the role and made Han Solo legendary. The decision seems perfect, as Harrison Ford's natural charisma defined the character, and it's unthinkable to imagine anyone else as the Millennium Falcon's quick-witted smuggler. Star Wars is considered one of the biggest franchises in movie history, grossing over $10 billion at the global box office. Al Pacino never regretted his decision, and even joked that turning down the role is what gave Harrison Ford his career.
Oh, God, we don't want Harrison Ford to hear this.
No, but
So, Harrison, you are a great actor and I love you, but I'm sorry I made your career.
Turning down great roles is one thing, but opting not to be the chosen one is perhaps the biggest regret an actor can ever have. In 1999, directors the Wachowski brothers approached Will Smith and offered him the role of Neo in The Matrix.
All right, this is one of them stories I'm not proud of, but it's the truth. I did turn down Neo in The Matrix.
Will Smith was in a good spot in his career, coming off multiple successes like Men in Black and Independence Day, and declined the offer. He became really skeptical after the pitch and did not feel confident with the Wachowski brothers, as The Matrix was just their second movie. As it turns out, they are geniuses, and there is a fine line in a pitch meeting between that genius and what is experienced in the meeting. But in the end, Smith acknowledged that walking away from the role was the right decision, as he believes he would have messed it up.
I would have messed it up, but yeah. That was a little bit of a hurt piece.
Damn.
Finally, the role went to Keanu Reeves, who nailed it as Neo. With a $63 million budget, the movie earned well over $460 million, making it a huge success. Neo is arguably Keanu's most iconic performance to this day. Even though he has played other leading characters like John Wick, Neo remains the defining role that made Reeves a pop culture legend. Iron Man is the most famous character in the MCU, and for Robert Downey Jr., it was his career-defining role. But initially the part was offered to another action legend, Tom Cruise. Cruz was seriously interested in playing Stark during the early development stages. However, he ultimately walked away from the project. Reports suggest he wanted more creative control, possibly even a producer's credit. Cruz later said he can't imagine anyone else as Iron Man.
I love Robert Downey, and I can't imagine anyone else doing that role.
In the end, Robert Downey Jr. played the role of Tony Stark and made it iconic. The 2008 Iron Man movie grossed over $580 million worldwide, and with multiple direct sequels and appearances in many follow-up films, Iron Man became the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And to this day, Tom Cruise as Iron Man remains one of the biggest what-ifs in Hollywood history. Forrest Gump is a film that can be considered great in every sense: direction, storytelling, and especially Tom Hanks's performance. His portrayal of the simple-minded yet deeply sincere Gump earned him a second consecutive Academy Award. But surprisingly, the role was initially offered to John Travolta. Travolta found himself at a career crossroads where he had to choose between Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction, and ultimately, he picked the one that he thought fit him best. Forrest Gump was a huge success and became the second highest-grossing film of 1994, earning over $670 million at the box office. It also won 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Hanks. Travolta never regretted his choice, and in an interview with MTV, Travolta explained, "If I didn't do something Tom Hanks did, then I did something else that was equally interesting or fun. I feel good about some I gave up because other careers were created. And when it comes to regretting a casting decision, few match the level of Christina Applegate and her choice to turn down Elle Woods. Back in 2001, Christina Applegate was having a great run in her career, having just wrapped up her time as Kelly Bundy on Married with Children. She was offered the role of Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. Surprisingly, Applegate turned down the offer as she did not want to be typecast as a stereotypical dumb blonde. I got scared of kind of repeating myself what a stupid move that was. But for Reese Witherspoon, who ultimately played Woods, it became her career breakout role. As the movie grossed $140 million worldwide, Witherspoon became a cultural icon and an overnight star. The huge success of the movie led to her getting serious roles in films like Walk the Line, which later earned her an Oscar, and for Applegate, it became the biggest regret of her career.
I don't regret it because Reese Witherspoon did a much better job than I ever could, and she has now way more money than I do and way more success. And so why would I even regret that?
Christina's fear of being typecast was understandable, but Matt Damon's scheduling conflicts lost him millions. Matt Damon was already a huge star when he was offered the role of Jake Sully in Avatar by legendary director James Cameron. According to a speech given at the Cannes Film Festival in 2021, Damon remembers his conversation with Cameron, in which he says, "This movie doesn't need you, the movie doesn't need a star. The idea of the movie is the star, and it's gonna work, but if you do it, I would give you 10% of the movie." But Damon chose to turn down the offer as he was busy with the post-production work for The Bourne Ultimatum. This decision became the ultimate regret in Damon's career, as Avatar became the biggest grossing film in history, making around $2.9 billion globally, and Matt Damon missed out on arguably one of the biggest paychecks ever for an actor as he was offered 10% of the profits, estimated at around $250 million. But Damon seemed surprisingly cool about it and said, "It sounds like I missed out mostly on so much money, but I missed out on the chance to work with James Cameron."
And I hope that comes around, because I would do that for free.
And when it comes to turning down massive paychecks, no one tops Shan Connory. Shan Connory is considered the original James Bond, and with a career spanning multiple decades, Connery is capable of handling nearly any role. In the late 1990s, Connery was director Peter Jackson's first choice to play Gandalf the Grey in the iconic fantasy epic The Lord of the Rings. But Connery famously turned down the role even after being offered $30 million plus 15% of the box office, a deal that could have earned him over $400 million. Connery even stated, "I read the book, I read the script, I saw the movie, I still don't understand it." Gandalf was ultimately played by Sir Ian McKellen, whose powerful and heartfelt performance earned critical acclaim and even an Oscar nomination. Gandalf became one of the most legendary figures in fantasy film history, making Shan Connery's decision to reject the role one of the greatest oops moments in Hollywood folklore.